Good, man?
Messed my back up, man. Got pounded pretty good. It was, I was out playing some softball, and got balls deep. They want you to dig in.
Yeah.
And it was, I was trying out for this, whatever the adult version of after school.
All right.
What do they call it?
Recreational.
A recreational softball team. I was trying out for that, and the dudes were just beating me. They were just beating me left, right, center. I just couldn't keep them off me.
Okay.
It was a crazy weekend. I think I might have made the cut. I might need to grease some palms, sell myself, and because I love softballs. It's one of my favorite games to play. And it's the camaraderie of it all is really, it's always fun. It's nothing. One of my favorite models is like, there's nothing more fun than just getting into some balls with the boys.
Okay,
like that's one of
that. But okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, we've had some fun with me and you had some fun with some balls, like basketballs and other sporting activities.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like just playing around, being silly boys. Coming off of that, recovering. Doing my best to do that. And just life, man. We're getting older.
Absolutely.
You know how it goes, man.
You got to take it easy, man.
Yeah, I try to, but you just wake up and you just want to get after it. Life, you want to just grab life by the horn, grab the bull by the, whatever you grab on a bull, whatever, whatever thing you prefer to grab on a bull. That's your business.
Yeah.
But like you just grab life. Get up, take life by the suck the teat of life. You know what I mean? Like you get up and just like guzzle it. Just like you just guzzle life. And take it in. And deep in your gut, and really live your life to the fullest. So age will come and try to run that train off the tracks, but I'm not going to let that happen to me, bro. I'm really trying to do my best to get the most out of life.
That's the only thing you can do, man.
Exactly. I'm going to stroke it till it's over with. I'm just like, I'm not going to let any drop be missed. It's just, that's how I tackle life. You know what I mean? That's
I don't know if I can, agree with you on that, but I get it. I get the.
What do you not? I mean, like, you gotta stop living such a passive life, man. You gotta take life, and get after it. Life's a highway.
I get that. Sure, but I mean, I can't speak on you by grabbing life by the horns or whatever metaphor, or
whatever you want to grab.
But I can
grab whatever you want.
I can speak on softball though. Can speak on that. I have tried out for softball as well. I don't like baseball because the balls is just too soft for me. I just like huge balls, so I'd rather play. I'd rather play softball.
Hey man, hey, pause, man. That was crazy. What are you doing? I don't know. That was weird. Let's get into the podcast. That was, hey yo.
Yeah, obvious, we got a problem here. And it's more than just Alvin streaming Punisher. When life begins to suck, who's reporting it? Luckily, you got two friends who you won't forget. Coming live, Alvin and Fran on survival. Laughing non-stop, case drops on a cycle. Louder than intrusive thoughts off an iPhone. How they make the world seem bright with the lights off. AFs, it might as well stay up. Lies being told like that dinosaur BS. Magnifying glass to the ground if they don't see us. Having the time, roasting your favorite pizza. Bougie ain't an option, it's the way. Make it to the grave, have moving to the place. You already know when they take the case. Laugh the pain away, it's Affirmative Murder.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Affirmative Murder, the equal opportunity true crime comedy podcast. I'm Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, man, I'm the mailman. Can't you tell, man? Going postal.
What up?
Fran, in case people couldn't catch on the beginning, we were setting up a conversation. The pause game.
Okay.
It evolved from a game that we have to admit, we have to be open and honest. This is a game we played as kids. It was no homo is what what it evolved from, and then pause became a little bit more colloquially acceptable. It wasn't as offensive if you don't readily know what. You pick up on it eventually, obviously, right. what the intent is, and it kind of died out because it's an immature game to play.
It is,
right? But Cameron and Mace, two former rappers, have started a sports show. It's actually brilliant. It's like brilliant. It really feels like how Undisputed on Fox Sports has Shannon Sharp, and then Skip Bayless is like it's like it's like a tracksuit and business suit.
Yeah,
like
it's raw.
Shannon Sharp brings the raw, and then Skip Bayless cleans it up.
Yeah.
Their show, Cameron and Mace, is like two Shannon Sharps.
Raw,
but like more
yeah.
raw.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they curse, and it's very much barbershop talk. Right? Very much barbershop talk. And they play that game a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very Harlem thing. I think it was birthed in Harlem.
Yes.
Pause.
Yeah.
I know Dame Dash. I watch a lot of Dame Dash interviews because I just find him to be an interesting person. He says it a lot, and he says it like unironically. He's dead serious. Like, pause. Like, I'm not saying anything sexual to you. I'm just saying whatever, X, Y, and Z. You know, sometimes you just can't come quick enough. He's like, pause.
Yeah.
But it started this debate about, is this offensive, right? And I have my thoughts on it. My initial thoughts before I throw it to you was being immature in as you get older keeps you young. You know, playing those games and stuff that were fun when you were a kid. So it's funny, while it is immature, it is funny to see two grown men playing the game. It makes you feel like a kid again, like where that was like a silly thing. And while I understand how you could put it under a microscope and get offended by it, but like it's a joke, right? And I don't think when Cameron and Mace are playing with each other, they're not meaning to like denigrate gay people. They're just saying like, hey man, what I said was kind of crazy. It's hard to explain. It's like, I'm not saying like I hate gay people. It's just saying what I said to you just there was kind of crazy, and let me clean it up with a pause. And it's just funny.
Yeah,
it's never like nobody. I've never seen it very often where nobody's dead serious. Like, hey man, whoa, fucking pause. I didn't mean to say it like that. It just is more so I caught you. Hey, pause. That was crazy what you just said. It's the intent. And so, what are your thoughts on like pause and it's resurfacing and everything like that?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's I don't think I can speak on if it's offensive or not, because
I would agree. I would agree. It's not up to us to decide that.
Exactly. So
that's fair.
But do I think it's immature? Yes, only because I've never been the one to participate in that. That's just not how I talk. So it's like, and it's like I feel like it's a bit annoying when it's like you talk like that 24/7, where it's just like. Boom, boom,
for
pause.
Sure.
And I go like, all right, bro, can we have like
be mature, be adults.
A mature conversation. Like, I get it, but it's like,
So do you not like the show?
I love the show. I think it's hilarious. And
okay, because they do it.
They do it a lot in the show.
Yeah.
But it is funny when they do it though. But I think a lot of things that add on to it is when they do it, they go like, oh, that's crazy. And that's like one of my favorite sayings. So that makes it more funnier. But other than it being a talk show and that being entertainment, it's like, if we just outside, you know, with my friends, it's like I just don't want to.
That's not a game. That's not a game I'm like bringing back. But my point is, them being a show and the show gaining popularity is going to give people permission who are foolish and stupid and want to be silly and think Cameron and Mace are funny and think that's a funny thing to do, are going to bring it. It is going to come back.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, so we are going to hear it more in society when a popular show is doing it. And so, you know, I just wanted to get your thoughts on, like, of course, like, we don't play like that. You know, that's not a game we play. But, you know, I know it was a game that was played when I was younger. Now to see it coming back around in today's kind of more sensitive and more understanding and, you know, treading lightly era, I'm interested in people's thoughts on what I feel like the people who are, you know, being spotlighted and doing it mean no offense. And sometimes it like doesn't matter what you mean or don't mean, is how it's taken. So I guess, you know, all we can do is wait to hear from people who are from the LGBTQ community who have their thoughts on it. But I also feel like I feel like you're going to run across people that go, I don't care. You're going to run across people that go, it's super offensive. You're going to run across people that,
for sure,
you know, are somewhere in the middle, you know.
I think it could have something to do. I could think it could, you know, go between, you know, just being like not offensive, but it being like you having some type of homophobia going on, where it's like
yes.
But it's like everything's not everything. Whatever you talk, it's not. It makes it seem like everything you say is gay, and it's like,
yes,
I don't like what like. That's just not how my mind runs. I just don't.
You're connect, but the thing, that's why, you know, it's a game, right? Because your brain, you've now programmed your brain, and again, it might be a game birthed out of homophobia, obviously, so that inherently is probably not a good thing. But like you've switched your brain to go, oh man, I can't catch all that in my mouth, and you go, whoa, pause. You know, like you're now trying to find it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just I feel like it's interesting. Like, as the show continues to grow in popularity, I mean, Stephen A. Smith has gone on the show. They're getting higher profile guests with more standing in the sports world, and that legitimizes them. So if you go on this show that if you're a person that legitimizes people and you go on their show, then you kind of are endorsing their content. Yeah. And a big part of their content is the pause game.
Yeah, but I think if anybody have seen the show and seen the episode with Stephen A. Smith,
they didn't play it really.
They didn't play it.
They
didn't do that with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
because they know who and who not. Stephen F. don't play. He's like, this is in this.
You're not
industry,
gonna mess my check up. Yeah,
we're not doing that.
yeah.
They shut all that down.
I think Cameron snuck one off.
Yeah,
just to try. I think he was being a troll a little bit, and he snuck one in, but it was not as wild and letting them fly as much. So that's true as well. Like they know who to play the game with and who not to play the game with. And even without playing that game, it's a silly game. Even without playing the game, the show is still entertaining. So it's not like the show is just like calling everything gay on the show all day. That's not at all what the show is. But they do it a lot.
But you got to. I've seen the show. I watch it.
Yeah.
But you have to admit, those are the funniest parts of the show.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's compilations on Twitter, on YouTube of like the counter. It'll be like Cameron versus Mace, who got the most pause moments, like 11 to 16, and it keeps counting up every time they say something. I just think it's an interesting thing to, I feel like nostalgia is good, and you can't police people's nostalgia. But at the same time, I'm a hypocrite because I do try to police people's nostalgia. If I see a Confederate flag and somebody goes, "This is my grandfather's Confederate flag," I'm like, "Well, I don't give a fuck. It's racist."
That don't count.
So when it's me,
at least I don't think it counts.
Well, that's fair, but I'm just trying to make some kind of comparison.
Yeah, I get it.
To moments where I go, I don't give a shit about nostalgia or things you did when you grew up with or you were a child. It's offensive. So that's why I'm like, this is a game that was a silly game birthed by like children and whatever, young people, teenagers, whatever, just being immature and not wanting to say anything that comes off as gay to their friends. Yeah. And it birthed this whole thing, pause, no homo. This was a whole thing. If you remember this time, you remember this time. And it seems like the time's coming back around, and that is nostalgic and silly to me, but I don't know the experience of a person who was gay, how it felt to hear somebody say that when in that time.
Yeah.
In 2007, you are a young gay kid, and everybody's going around going, "No homo, pause. Hey, yo, whoa, hey, what is that? Hey, yo, pause." So I can't really speak to me feeling like it's this silly, fun game from childhood or whatever. Not even necessarily fun, just like a thing people did. I don't even want to say fun. Funny. I won't sit here and lie and say I haven't heard some funny pause moments, somebody dropped a pause at just the right time where it just was the perfect joke to make at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and one thing I try not to do is be, in hindsight, hyperly critical. I think it's like it's hypocritical. I was on Twitter in 2009. I remember Twitter in 2009. I laughed at Twitter in 2009. Would I want anybody to see the things I was laughing at in 2009 and 2023? No, but I'm not going to sit here and say Twitter was awful in 2009 and it's disgusting and I hated everything about it. That's a lie.
Yeah, we were still kids in 2009 though.
For sure. That's a fact. But my point is, things that I found funny when I was a kid, in hindsight, might not be funny today.
Right.
And I think pause is one of the things that falls into that. Obviously, we can't speak with absolute confidence of how it makes somebody from that community feel. Mm-hmm. But I just think it's an interesting discussion because I feel like it's going to be heard a lot more going forward. It's kind of come back. And I wouldn't be surprised if having conversations like this falls back on Cameron and Mace. Because there are people who are listening to this and listen to us who don't know who Cameron and Mace are, haven't listened to the podcast, and might go listen now, and then now their outrage has been lit.
Yeah.
I don't like that either, but I'm also a hypocrite in that regard. Like sometimes I feel like there's this lady named Colleen something. She's like a YouTube person. She has like lipstick smeared around her mouth, and she does this weird voice or whatever. And apparently she was talking weird to her fans, young fans, grooming them or something. And then apparently she had some kind of paint on her face, and people thought it was blackface. But all this is from like 2011.
Okay.
So it's like outrage coming after the thing has happened, right?
Well, we've seen that a lot though.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, post the event, outrage 10 years later, condemning something 20 years later. And for me, it's like, if you weren't watching her, then why are you going back now watching her and condemning her now? Clearly, whoever her fans were watched it and liked it, right? And that happens, like some of my favorite shows have gotten in trouble or had to change their format or whatever because somebody found out about the show and they don't think it's funny. It's like, well, but if you don't think it's funny, just don't watch it.
I just don't agree. I don't agree with none of that because it's like now it's one thing. Once you build traction and you build fame, it's kind of like it's always somebody that's like, okay, well, I need to try to find something to bring this person down somehow.
For sure.
And what's offensive now wasn't offensive 10 years ago. And then it's like, now it's an issue. But it was like, okay, well, it was funny 10 years ago and everybody laughed and nobody said anything. But now that it's offensive now, it's like, now you can't do it. Now you got to.
Now the whole society has collectively leveled up and now we go back and.
Right. Now you got to change certain things you say in the movies. Now you got to take away certain episodes that was offensive now, but it wasn't offensive then. Now you can't show those on air anymore. It's like, I don't agree with none of that. I just don't think that's
one of our favorite shows, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's one of the funniest shows of all time. And the joke of one of the a through line of the show, multiple seasons, is they want to make their own Lethal Weapon movie.
Yeah.
And one of them wants to play Danny Glover's character, but it's an all-white show. That's the comedy, is they're all pointing it out like, well, we can't like paint ourselves black and do that. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And then one of them does do it and they're like, I don't feel right about this. That's the joke. Them pointing out that blackface is a thing and it's offensive. That's the joke. So you can't, like, now that we live in this hypersensitive era where you go, blackface is just wrong, point blank, period. Of course blackface is wrong.
Yeah.
But not being able to see the subtlety or the nuance in somebody pointing out that blackface is wrong with a joke. Same with Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder is funny. I saw Tropic Thunder in the movie theater. I might have saw it with you. I don't remember. But I saw Tropic Thunder in the movie theater. It's hilarious. Robert Downey Jr.'s character is hilarious. And it's hilarious to watch a person in blackface be chastised and attacked by a real black person. Like, hey, man, what you're doing is racist. And him coming back and being like, you going to call me racist, brother? You're supposed to be my brother.
Yeah.
It's psychotic. Like, that's the funny of it, is this person just doesn't get it. And it's super that's the comedy. So, like, I heard a really good quote. I don't know where I heard it from, but basically the quote was, all these corporations and businesses, they don't care about any one subject or cause or community. They care about what you care about. Mm-hmm. If 5-10% of the population is offended by something and they think it's going to hurt their bottom line, then they will come out against that thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Or come out for it. But they don't care about the thing. They just care about what it seems like the people care about.
It's the money.
Exactly. And so I feel like the internet sometimes makes voices seem louder than they are. So then these companies will change things. Like Netflix took off they don't have those Lethal Weapon episodes on. Like wherever Always Sunny is on.
Yeah. They took them off.
They took them off.
They took a couple episodes off.
Any episodes that have blackface.
They had an episode, I think it might have been like the first episode of a new season where they was like black people and like it was like something happened where it was like the cop,
but like actual black people, right?
It was actually black people, yeah. But it was like
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like they just like no, we can't put that up in it. It was up for a while,
yeah,
and it was like we can't have that up in it, so they took it off.
But all that takes is like 1,000 tweets,
yeah,
and 1,000 tweets is not that'll make you think like this big swell of outrage is coming. But if you talk to the average person on the street, average black person, average whatever, also black people specifically, black people have such tough skin. We accept comedians like Gary Owen and these other like comedians that come in and go, man, I'm just a white guy, but y'all be in church all day, and you just laugh about it. Like you got to be able to look at yourself and laugh. Yeah. And I'm not accusing any other communities of not doing that. I'm just saying, it's got to be fair, bro. Like if you want to make fun of people, you got to be able to take it. That's my stance. Like if you want to be able to, laugh, if you want to be able to sit in the audience and laugh at one joke, you can't then get mad at the other joke. Like you can't police comedy this way. I don't know. Like, and this is not I'm not some hard line. I don't have some, this is not all stemming from us talking about pause. This is now gone broader. Like I'm not like some pause apologist trying to come and fight for us to be able to play the pause game. I'm just saying it all comes from the same conversation about funny and sensitivity. And, I think there's a conversation that is to be had about, people who might not know what funny is trying to dictate the lines of comedy and ruin stuff for people and when you just are going to go back to not watching it. There are 1,000 people that sent tweets to Always Sunny in Philadelphia's producers, whatever, got those shows taken off, and then went back to like, all right, cool. I never watched this show to begin with, and now I'm going to go back to not watching it, but they better follow those rules that we put in place for them about stuff. And now I'm going to go back to not being a person watching the show.
Yeah, because it was a thing. It was like, oh, this is the new thing that's everybody doing now. Why don't I hop on it, help out?
Yes.
And then it's like, well, I don't care. I don't watch the show anyway. So
yeah.
But it's like, also it's like,
and now you've changed the experience for the people who love the show. Like now the people that make the show are doing things a little differently, and you just go back away to, you never watched it before, now you're not watching it again, and you've changed something that you don't care
and it's
about.
also for businesses to be like, they go like, it's not, we can go out and fight and go say, this is a joke, it's comedy, but it's like, why? It's not even worth, let's just
take it off.
Just to please everybody, just take it off and just
take it off. It's easier.
I think that's fucked up though.
Or they could just not take any stance. But I think that hurts their bottom line because if you want to take no stances at all, then you can't every June do Pride Month. You can't, come to Target for the Pride sale. You can't pick and choose when you want to take people's money. So you can't come out and support and praise and everything and then not actually back when you feel like you hear those voices crying out for help.
Yeah.
So if whether it's a Black Lives Matter issue, whether it's a trans issue, whether it's a gay, lesbian issue, you can't ask for those people's money, and then when the bad stuff is happening or what they perceive to be bad stuff is happening, you stay silent. But then June comes around, you're like, come on and get your gay Target month. Like you can't do that. You can't tell them to come to Gacy's and come to the Macy's Gay Pride sale, whatever, and then you're selling products from somebody who's a professed homophobe and you don't do anything about it. So it's this balancing act, but at the end of the day, none of these people really give a fuck.
They don't care.
So I feel like the conversations are to be had with the people. We can't go off of what Bud Light does or what Pepsi does. We can't go off of that. We got to really have a conversation as people, like black to white, Asian to Mexican, whatever, and go, hey man, like, do you really care? Like, are you really offended? Now, like, are you really offended by this?
Now, imagine if there was no social media. Like, how would you would have to go march?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to have the energy to do that.
Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares enough to go do that.
It's only because it's so easy. You can sit behind the computer, type some words and some letters, whatever. Mm-hmm. Get your message out share a boycott this show link. Yeah. Come on, man.
No, that's a fact. Like, if you really, let's say it was like, we need 10,000 people to show up outside of FX Studios to get them to take off these Lethal Weapon episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. 10 people are showing up to that. And it's the 10 people are the people who organized the march. Yep. Like, nobody really cares. But it's easy to care when all it is just click share and, pass it on. Then you help build this outrage and start this forest fire, and you walk away. So many people walk away from the things that they start or share and don't really care. So many things. I was thinking about this the other day because, we're rambling, we're talking, whatever. But threads, Instagram threads. One person said something to me about Instagram threads. I went and signed up. It was the most sheep thing I've ever done that I noticed. I'm sure I've done a lot of sheep shit, but like I just signed up with it took no convincing. It just was like, everybody's doing this, so you should do it too. Yeah. Because people were doing it. And so that's like Coney 2012, Live Strong bracelets, Harambe, mad shit that like a society, we decided, the balloon boy, like these people decided like this is not right. And then you hear about it, you go, oh shit, yeah, this isn't right. I am gonna share this. This is wrong. Yeah. I don't really care, but like I should care. And it's easy to care. It's easier today than ever to like pretend you care and get the gratification of people being like, hey, you're a good person. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. You don't have to do any real work, any real activism, nothing.
All the work
but you can get the
media.
Praise. Exactly, but you can get the praise.
It's a fucking
so you get the most gratification ever for having the right thoughts, the right views, the right being against a stance against the right things. But you don't really have a stance against them as you're against capitalism while you tweet from your phone that has minerals in it that are mined by children in Africa. You know what I mean? Like you're not really about that life. But today you can put on the biggest front and I'm a vegan and I'm a this and I'm a that and I care about this cause and this cause and that cause and do none of the work.
Hey, you know who is about that life though?
Who?
Trump supporters.
Oh, they mean with that eyebrow. Hey, bro, I said I'm not shopping here. I'm not eating this.
Hey,
I'm not. No, they meant it, bro. Bud Light has been Bud Light has been the #1 beer in this country for like 50 years. They gave a shout out to one trans person for an Instagram post, and it dropped the whole.
Did they?
It dropped to #2.
Oh.
Yeah, they were like, we're not drinking this anymore. You like trans people? We're not drinking your beer anymore.
Oh, man.
Like they are, but that's a sickness to me. Because like, I watch those, we talked about this. I watch those videos where they show you like a slaughterhouse or how they kill cows and stuff. Yeah. And it affects me. Blackfish. When I saw what they did to Shamu and those other whales and how they made them crazy and turned them into basically prisoners and made them go lose their mind and start attacking people and other fish and shit, it was sad. Would I go on a whale watch still? And I don't know if people say that that's not okay to do. I probably would. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, of course I was affected by it, but whales are majestic and beautiful. I want to go see a whale. Right. I wouldn't go see him in whale prison. I wouldn't support a SeaWorld type of system ever. But, like, I'm a hypocrite in that I feel like if I go, leave them alone, but somebody came and they go, look, you're in Mexico. You give me $100. I'll take you out. We got some charcuterie and some wine. And we might see some whales. I'm like, yeah, let's go see some whales, man.
That's too dangerous.
You know? I mean, well, the whales, there's this conversation about if the whales are communicating and have figured out, because whales are really smart.
Yeah.
If whales are communicating and figured out what we've done to whales and whale hunting and SeaWorld and shit, because now whales have been
tipping over boats.
They've been tipping over boats. They've been breaching and then landing on boats and shit. It's never happened before. It feels like the whales have turned on us. Yeah. The animals have been doing stuff in the ocean recently that they don't really do that often.
Ocean waters are just like that's not human territory. It's just not human territory. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
No,
it's just
no,
not.
No,
you're not supposed
and
to be
you
out
shouldn't
there
be
fucking around.
You shouldn't be surprised if anything happens to you. If a shark came and attacked me in the shower, I'll be mad.
Right.
But you can't go out there and be in their house.
No, that's free pickings.
You can't even breathe. You're not even equipped to be out here.
No, you can't.
This is not your home.
We don't have the ability. We can swim. Humans can swim. But you don't.
We can learn to swim.
We don't have the ability to swim at high speeds and maneuver in the water a certain way. Come on, man. You're not. A shark is out there. You out there. You can call it a rat.
Yeah, you're not meant to be out there. You're not equipped to even live or defend yourself out there. But people like swimming in water. I guess I don't know. It couldn't be me. It's not really a thing I'm into. All right, real quick, a couple of shout outs. I'm going to do them quickly. We're going to rattle them off. It's very much appreciated. I hope you guys are enjoying the Patreon content. I recently started doing some reaction videos under the moniker Reaction Jackson. I hope you guys are enjoying those. Those are fun for me to do, so I can crank out those. If you have any suggestions of videos you want me to react to, please join the Discord and drop a link over there, and let me know what you would like to react to next. First, we're going to give a shout out to Shauna S. Shout out to Shauna S. Much love and appreciation. Thank you for joining the Patreon. We appreciate you and hope that all of your endeavors are great in life and prosperous. It looks like the person, Shauna, put some kind of hypnosis thing as their picture, maybe trying to hypnotize us into giving them a refund so they can enjoy the content for free and still be on there. I'm on to you, and it's not going to happen.
What is it? Like, it's a picture of like...
It's like black and white umbrella.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a picture of like Abracadabra or something. Pokemon.
No. Just sitting there, just staring at you.
Spoon.
You just get
lost
in it. He has two spoons. Bent spoons. Pokemon, man. Yeah, there's some
classic. Man.
There's some ones. There's some ones on there. Up next, we're gonna give a shout out to Karen or Corinne. I don't know. It's kind of not the day. Yes, the today's day and age is not good to be. That name has been kind of muddied.
No.
Shout out to all the Karens out there. I feel for you. This is what do you think is worse, Fran? This is what do you think was more detrimental to white women, Karen or Becky?
Ooh, I think Karen for sure.
Well, yeah, because Becky's fun. Even if you like Becky, it's sexual, so that's probably women probably don't want that. But then also Beyonce, it's like you are a fellatio expert or you steal people's
you're a homewrecker.
Husband. Yeah. You're a homewrecker. But Karen is like just nobody wants to be around a Karen.
That's one of those names that I think that's one of those names gonna fade away. It may be one of those names that may just like.
You think that this era killed Karen?
It might be a what's one of those names?
Like Beulah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Paula.
like
Paula's. It's not a name.
Paula. Yeah.
Come on.
It's not many Paulas. I never seen a young Paula. No, any Paula, Paulette.
Yeah.
Ingrid.
Right.
Martha. Never met a young Martha.
Those names are.
They faded away.
Fading away for sure. Because we always, I think now with this generation, we kind of look at stuff where it's like, could this name bring some type of harm to my child as far as being made fun of in school when they get older? Like, you think about all that. So it's
like Adolf,
Dick. I don't think people name their child Dick anymore. Like Richard. Is Richard still like a popular name?
Richard, people still get named Richard, yeah. But they don't get called Dick. They get called Ricky.
Okay, see? All right.
Or Richie.
Okay.
Nobody goes by Dick like.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Hey, first of all, pause. First of all, pause.
You can't name your child Richard and not his nickname not be Dick.
Why can't you?
Because you can't.
We know people named Ricky and Richie. I don't know anybody named Dick.
But isn't that the nickname for Richard, though?
You met a 7-year-old kid named Richard that's going by Dick?
You should be able to call him Dick. Hey, man, you go like, hey, man, that's the nickname for Richard. I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
I would tell you, pick another one of the options, man. We're not doing that today.
I'm not. I'm calling you Dick.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. That's crazy.
What was the last name I said? Shout out to, what was that? It was Shauna. It was Karen, wasn't it? Well, it's either Karen or Corinne. It's Karin. So it's either Karen or Corinne S. Either way, shout out to you. I still think Karen's a great name. I just feel for you.
I still think you're a great person.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not making any presumptions about who you are as a person because of your name.
But do I have my doubts? Possibly.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, are my wits about me?
Possibly.
Yeah. Are my guards up?
For sure.
For sure. Like, if I invite you to the cookout, am I like scared you might pull the cell phone out and call about the smoke being too high and too dark and voluminous? Yeah, I'm concerned, but I'm not gonna treat you like that out of the gate. No. I'm just saying I got my eye on you. That's it. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Monica. Not the boy is mine, Monica. Possible. I don't know. I don't think so. If it is you, shout out to you. You got Jams. Never Meant to Cause You No Pain was one of my favorites as a kid. I don't think it is that Monica, but you never know over here. We got some illustrious guests, some illustrious listeners, and they like to keep their privacy, so you never know. But shout out to those people. Again, Affirmative Murder, Patreon. We would love to see you over there. Content is coming and pumping out, and we're in the mix over there, and we just appreciate the support and the love. And this is this is such a cool thing that we've grown. I love seeing the Discord slowly start to grow into something and become a community. Because listen, man, Facebook, I just don't like it. And I gotta go over there to say what's up to the Facebook group because I'm so proud of what we built over there. But Discord is like the Facebook group on steroids, or has the potential to be. So if we can get everybody that's on the Facebook group over to the Discord, we could be building something really fun and better, and not have to go in there and be ducking comments and posts from my aunts. They won't let up, bro. If they catch me writing on there, love you, nephew, like they won't leave me alone, bro. It's like anything, no matter what I post, is like, love you so much, nephew. I'm talking about Chipotle. Yeah. And they just comment on there. They just want to talk. They just talk. Love, I appreciate it, but I would rather take the Facebook group over to Discord. Yeah. Obviously, I'm still gonna check in.
It's growing a little bit. It's growing more people.
Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. But, in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get into some fucked up shit. So stick around. Fran and I have brought a really interesting and sad case this week. Fran, you told me about this. You saw this on TikTok?
I saw this story a while ago, maybe a couple months ago. Because like when we was doing the other format, the way we was doing the show, when we picked our own stories, I'll come across something I haven't seen or we haven't done, and I'll just save them. And then this popped up again on my feed, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this story. That's when I sent it to you. Because I know we didn't. I remember seeing the story before, but I was like, I don't think we've done this on the show.
Right.
So when I said to you, I was like, oh yeah, we definitely got to do this story. It was a while ago, so I know the information was there for us to do. So I was like,
right,
we should do this.
Yeah. This one's a very interesting one. Our Affirmative Murder this week is the story of Tierra Hall. All right, so let's get into it. Tierra Hall was raised by her single mother, Katia, in Texas until she was around 14 years old. In 2012, the mother and daughter duo moved to Durham, North Carolina. And after a short time, Tierra began settling into her new life. She enrolled at Jordan High School, and her friends described her as goofy and always making faces to make people laugh. She was very gregarious and silly and like a fun kid. You know, she had a good spirit, according to her friends. Tiara was very outgoing and made friends very easily, but she became especially close with her best friend, Amaya. Tiara and Amaya were described as two peas in a pod, and they had plans to spend the upcoming spring break together. On Friday, March 27, 2015, Tiara got ready for her last day of school before spring break. She told her mom she loved her and left for the day. Tiara never came home that night, but Takia just thought that she was out with friends enjoying the first day of spring break, which is, again, this is a position we've been in, Fran, as kids. Everybody has been if you're an adult. You know, spring break falls or the last day of school falls on a Friday before spring break kicks off. You go to school, you kind of phone it in. You don't dress up. You know there's not going to be any real like assignments or anything. You just got to get through the day, and then you might go straight from school. The bell rings, and it crews of kids just going out right to outside, being outside every day. I don't even know if kids do this anymore, but like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like straight from school, it's like we're gonna go to, to Jack's house, and everybody's gonna be out in the lawn and just playing around and just whatever. Like, so I could see a mom maybe to a point. Obviously, I'm sure she grew concerned at some point, but at some point she goes, "Oh yeah, well it's this first day of spring break. Like, she's probably just out with some friends." It's
this funny because like I know I just had the conversation with my brother and this was 2015, so this is almost 10 years ago. It's about 8 years ago. But in our time before before 2010 when we graduated high school, it was just like we didn't have phones as kids.
No, not really.
Right? If we did have phones, it wasn't to the technology wasn't there, right? But so we didn't have phones, but we used to be out all day. I was just telling my brother this, like we used to be out all day. Now I can't even imagine that. I mean, my kids are younger now, but still when they get to that age, I still can't even imagine to have them out. And it's like, okay, well, you come home when the streetlights come on. So it's like my dad didn't talk to me all day. It was like he go to work and I'm out all day and I'll just come back home at like 7:30. And it's just like, to think about it now, it's like that drives me crazy. To have your child out and not hear from them all day, to be like, everything should be fine.
And it's unfathomable
for sure
today.
Yeah.
Like I'll go a step further. Like me and my partner, like people as adults who were in relationships 20 years ago, it's like you could call them at work, but other than that, you get up in the morning, see you later. Yeah. I'll see you at 5:00. Today, if you're in a relationship, imagine you just don't hear from the person all day long. No text, I saw a funny video, just what do you want for dinner tonight? Like just no communication. The idea of going a whole day and not communicating with somebody is like, it's alarming off the rip. Yeah. Even if they come home, you're like, they come in the house, you're mad. Yeah. Like, what the hell happened? Exactly. Like they need to have a reason. Like, did your phone die? Did you leave it at home? Like the idea of not hearing from somebody all day in today's society is like unheard of. It's not a thing. So even in 2015, to think that wasn't that long ago, but when you just said like 8 years these technology jumps are crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
They make time longer. Like, I feel like 2000 to now wasn't that long. I feel like if you ask somebody 1953 to 1973, for the most part, obviously there was big historical moments, but I feel like a person who was alive in 1953 and 1973 would go, it wasn't that big of a jump in every, like the world didn't change that much. Right. But from 2000 to 2023, you are not able to function in society if you miss that gap. Like if you were in prison, phones, technology, the world, energy, electric cars, like so much has changed because of technology and the way that it's leapt that 10 years is 20 years. So 8 years is like 16 years, man. Like again, 2015 to 2023, again, we just had this discussion about, I'm sure in 2015, talking to your partner or having the ability to talk to your partner all day was less of a concept. Where you just go, I don't know, maybe they're busy. There's thing. Even if you're like today, even if you're busy, people are on. We had this discussion to be real. We're not gonna get deep into it, but a friend of ours, about sending them a text message and them not texting back. It's like, you haven't been on your phone for a week?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing.
It's just
not a thing.
Like foreign language. I go like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Like your emails, TikTok, Instagram. You're not on you didn't see my text? Like, it's impossible for you to tell me, oh, I just haven't gotten to my phone. You might have been able to get that off in 2015 still. But it just isn't a thing today. It just is. No. It's just not a thing. Yeah. The world's changed so much.
And back to the story, it's just a kid, a child, just where you go like they should be fine. It's like you said. In the school, and I think like before spring break, like it's a half day of school or something like that. So it's like they go out and you just hang out. You don't even go home. But it's like as a parent, you go for her to be like, I think she's fine. She might have a friend. But now it's like I don't know.
Not today.
What? No. Now
and even like your dad and my mom, that was the thing they did. That's how much the world is. I couldn't imagine that at all. Like I mean, kids get phones at 8, 9, 10 years old. So you have a phone. You need to tell me, did you get on the bus? Well, are you on your way home? I need to be hearing from you. And that was not a thing. Like, for me, I would get off school. I would call my mom to beg her for her leftovers. That was the only time I would talk to her. If I wasn't doing that, she wouldn't hear from me. My mom went on a date to Fuddruckers the night before and got a burger from some dude and whatever and didn't call him anymore. And it's a burger in the fridge. I'm going to call her and put my stomach up to the phone and make grumbling noises with my stomach and be like, what would you do, Mom, if your son was at home, on the floor, hungry? And she would be like, just eat it, and that was her dinner. That was what she planned on eating when she got home, but that was Mom do. She looking out. So other than that, if I didn't do that, because calling your parent at work, you got to go through.
You got to call the
extension. You got to call the business.
There's no text calling. No, you got to call. May I speak to whoever? And it's like that's the whole thing. Now it's like, why are you calling me? It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Yeah. So it was like it was frowned upon, and I only did it in the most hungry scenarios.
And also with technology, now you can see people's location. Like that's the thing too. Like me and Steph have our location on. She know where I'm at. I know where she is.
For sure.
Because like if we're not responding, I need to know. Exactly, man. Exactly. And sure. I think that's huge. I think that's very important, especially for kids now. Like
absolutely.
That's standard. Everybody should have that.
I'm sure if I was to look it up right now, I bet if you look up LoJack in 2003, I bet it was a thing that cost like $1,000.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you can buy an AirTag for like $70 and put it on whatever thing you want, your purse, a book bag, things that don't even cost that much money, but you just don't want to lose it. The technology of LoJack or tracking devices has become so minuscule and like everyday regular that you can just buy tags and put it on whatever you want. It's just become a normalized thing, and I think that that's good for society and protecting kids and protecting your loved ones and everything like that. And I just, I feel bad for people who went through things like we're going to get into and didn't have access to that technology yet, that the leap didn't happen in their era. But anyway.
Oh, can I ask you a question though? That last statement you just made, I always think about, because I know people before us think about this, like not being able to experience because you can I think, everyday living, you see stuff on TV and technology. Mm-hmm. You can kind of see where things, the trajectory of where things are going, right? So I always think about like, a cure, for example, cancer or something like that. Where I go like, I may not be alive when it gets to that point, and that kind of makes me.
Affirmative Murder is brought to you by HelloFresh. Flavor is in full bloom at HelloFresh. Enjoy the taste of spring with chef-crafted recipes featuring ripe, seasonal ingredients delivered right to your door. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to you, so you can skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. HelloFresh cares about quality. That's why their seasonal ingredients are picked at peak ripeness and travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. And I have to say, I've been doing a lot of home renovations lately, on top of work and the podcast. So there's nothing better than coming home after a long day, getting some projects done, and just knowing that you have fresh vegetables, quality produce, and instructions to whip up a meal, easy enough for a 6-year-old to read. HelloFresh is forever coming and clutching this house. And if you go to HelloFresh.com/AMP16 right now and use the promo code AMP16, you will get 16 free meals plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/AMP16. Use the promo code AMP16 for 16 free meals plus shipping. That is also free. Make your summer dinners a breeze with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Rosetta Stone. Do you have plans to travel abroad soon? Maybe you met abroad or a fellow on one of these dating apps. Or maybe you're just trying to decipher the latest fire Bad Bunny lyrics. Whatever the case may be, if you're looking to learn a new language, then Rosetta Stone is for you. Rosetta Stone is the most trusted language learning program around. It's available on desktop for a more stationary user, or it can be used as an app on a phone or a tablet if you're more on the go. Rosetta Stone teaches you through immersion. Instead of memorizing and drilling vocabulary words, you learn by matching audios from native speakers to visualize reading stories, participating in dialogues, and other practical language skills to fast-track your ability to communicate fluently. Rosetta Stone offers over 20 languages, from Spanish to French, Italian and German, to Chinese, Korean, and Japanese, and even Dutch, Arabic, and Polish. And right now, they're offering lifetime memberships. If you buy into the program right now, you get forever access to all lessons for all languages and literally never pay a renewal fee. Rosetta Stone has been in the game making people bilingual for over 30 years, and it's been around that long because it works. They know what really works when it comes to getting you started with a language, helping you remember what you've learned, and motivating you to stay on track. I went to Europe last year and I didn't use Rosetta Stone to try to learn French. Went there, offended a pastry chef, and he threw a baguette at my head. So the next time I take a trip, I won't be making that mistake again. I will be learning the language through Rosetta Stone. So don't put off learning that language any longer. There's no better time than right now to get started. Just open up your internet doohickey, go to Rosetta Stone, sign up today. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Drizzly. Gifting is hard. This isn't breaking news. But what might be breaking news is that you can now send beer, wine, and spirits right to your friends and family with Drizzly, the go-to app for alcohol delivery. Which is fantastic news because adult beverages are the only gifts that no one ever returns. And Drizzly's tailored experience lets you find the perfect drink for the occasion, no matter what it is. You'll save time by shopping a huge selection of drinks from wherever you are. You'll save money by comparing prices on said drinks from across a bunch of stores. And you'll get to spend more time sipping on those bevies with your giftees. You know, if they're the sharing type. Not like Fran. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and get your favorite drinks delivered today. Ding dong, it's Drizzly. Oh, that was terrible. Must be 21 and over, not available in all locations. Back to the pod.
Upset. Have you ever had a thought like that where it's just like, you know, I don't know,
we're not going to
see that, or we're not going to be able to experience that? Because I think that's a monumental moment when that happens. I think eventually it will happen, but I think we won't be around. We won't be around to experience.
No, for sure. The Jetsons, man, we got promised a future that I don't think I'm going to see. I think the Jetsons took place in like 2015.
Flying cars.
You know what I mean? Like, I think, flying cars and robots that, you know, we got Roombas, but like the nanny on the Jetsons was like, she wore an apron and she had attitude. She had jokes. Like, everything was in the sky, the skyscrapers. You don't even see the ground. Like, nothing exists on the ground. Everything's in the sky. Like, just stuff like that. Or even like you take it to like Spy Kids. Like, they had these machines. They had like rehydration microwaves. And I'm sure somebody's going to send me a link to something stupid. Yeah. Like, you know, you can buy s'mores and then put them in the microwave and it's dehydrated and you can rehydrate them and they turn into s'mores flavored ice cream or whatever. I'm talking about you put a pill in the thing. They will put a pill or something in the microwave and it turn into a Big Mac and fries.
Yeah.
It just hydrates into that. So I'm talking about shit that like.
You talking about obesity.
All right, well,
you
know,
level of that.
You're like, when you just pop up.
That's why.
You just got a jar of Big Macs?
You got a jar of Big Macs and fries? You have a jar.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's get out on these. You want one? Boom. Blink, blink, blink. Throw two in the thing. You got a whole microwave full of McDonald's, man. So it's those two, and then the last one, finally, most realistically, like when I was a kid, the movie Smart House, starring Peggy Bundy. The house, the carpet would suck up milkshake if you dropped it on the floor. It had a hologram person, the fresh baked pastries. And then now they use the term smart house today, and it just means you could turn your lights blue. But yeah, of course, there's some things I feel like I'm not going to see in my lifetime that I feel like it's coming. Yeah. And that, you know, it's a little, makes you a little sad, but you can only live one life, man. You can't be using that as an excuse to try to be 115 years old, bro.
Hey,
you got to hang it up at some point, bro.
I'm going for it, man. I'm going for it.
You're going to be on the deathbed, like, just wrinkled like a raisin, 120 years old. You're like, and then you're going to see
I'm able to see the iPhone.
On your ocular goggles that comes across the screen.
Contacts, you can see your phone?
Yeah.
I want to get there.
Cure for cancer discovery. Like,
Finally.
It's like, got everything I ever wanted in life, man. But let's get back to it. So she said bye to her mom and she went off to school. And then she never returned home from school. And the following day, on March 28th, a man on a walk with his girlfriend was shocked to find a woman asleep on the back porch of a vacant home for sale near Jordan High School.
Yeah. One thing is, I hope and pray to never have to be in a situation where I come across a dead body and have to call 911, because that would just be too much for me. Also, I'm not letting this couple off the hook. Why are you, what y'all getting into? Y'all hanging out at, because the body was found at, abandoned house.
Yes.
What are y'all doing? Why are you guys?
Yeah, that's where y'all walk? Right. Yeah, well, let's give him a pass on that. They could have been out for a nice brisk morning walk with his girlfriend.
Sure.
So the man called 911 to report the situation. But as soon as the police responded, it was immediately apparent that the woman was not asleep. And she wasn't a woman at all. She was, in fact, a teenager. The young black female was face down on the porch about 10 feet from the back door. The body was found with 14 knife wounds on her neck, head, and shoulders, and arm. The attack was so violent that the knife's tip broke off in the victim's cheek. Wow. The victim was wearing gray sweatpants and a T-shirt with Elmo on it. There was blood around her body and spattered about knee height on the siding of the house.
Wow.
Yeah, so this was an incredibly violent and brutal attack. Several witnesses did say that they saw or heard either a suspicious car or the scream from a female. One witness said that one of the neighbors had surveillance cameras. The homeowner was more than happy to help and let the police watch their footage. I also was having this remark to myself. I was doing one of those reaction videos. I was reacting to Ring doorbell compilations. Okay. And I was saying, like, this is such again, to go into the conversation about technology, the way things have changed so much, like the Ring is so normalized. So like, that's so great that you can like turn to somebody where a crime happened and they might have caught the whole thing on tape. Like we saw in the Chris Watts case. In the Chris Watts situation, they went over to the neighbor's house and he was like, oh, my camera points right to their house pretty much. I can't see inside their garage, but like I could tell you what happened in front of their house at 2:00 in the morning. And that just is like such a game changer, that technology has become so watered down that you can just go get it from Best Buy. And now your house is, it's not $1,000 setup. You can just go get a couple $100 and
do it yourself.
Secure your home. And so I think that's really cool. Like it really is. I mean, it adds to like, it's kind of impossible to get away with anything in today's society. Like murder, anything. Like crime is kind of dumb. So it really tells you it is a mental illness or it's a desperation that crime still exists today because people are still doing crime knowing that they're probably going to get caught. Or arrogance. It probably mostly arrogance.
I think less arrogance. You think they won't get caught? They're not going to catch.
I think there's a lot of people out here doing stuff thinking they won't get caught even though there's cameras everywhere.
I think they're just like, fuck it.
That's scary.
They're like, fuck.
These people just don't give a fuck. If I get caught, I don't give a fuck.
That's a mental illness, man. If you walking around like, I don't give a damn, man.
I don't give a fuck.
What, I'm just go to jail?
I would rather you be arrogant. Yeah, what? Send me to jail? I'll become better at this. You send me to jail, I definitely won't get caught the next time. I'll be better at it.
No, man.
Yeah, so like I said, they went over to a neighbor's house and watched some surveillance camera footage from the night or from the day before. And at around 12:40 p.m., a male figure was seen walking down the road in the direction of the Trotter Ridge house. That's the house where the body was found. A young lady was following him just a minute or so later. The brutality of the murder shocked the detectives at the scene. As they canvassed the scene, they noticed two things: that there was a cell phone case near the body, but no phone, and that there was a small piece of paper sticking out of the girl's pocket. That piece of paper was a hall pass from Jordan High School. It was signed by one of the principals and dated for the prior day. So they knew that this murder had been committed in the last 24 hours. They knew the last place the victim was, and that's a great lead. That's a great lead. That's a great clue. So the police were quickly able to track down the principal who met them at the school. Keep in mind, this is a Saturday. So the principal met them at the school on a Saturday to look at the security cam footage from the school from Friday, March 27th, the day before spring break. The school had nearly 50 security cameras recording activities in the halls. What officers saw was a student walking the halls wearing gray sweatpants and an Elmo t-shirt. The principal informed police that student was Tierra Hall.
And they also, at the crime scene, when they found the phone case and the hall pass, the graffiti that was also written. Now, I don't know where he did it. I don't know if it was blood. I don't know if he had a marker. I don't know. But he wrote King K the Savage on somewhere near the crime scene.
In the abandoned. So this is an abandoned house.
Yeah.
This isn't just some like house being renovated. This is like what we think of as an abandoned house. If there's graffiti on the walls and stuff, this isn't a house that's being renovated. Yeah. This is some people call it a bando, a row home. This is a house where people go and fuck shit up.
Yep. So he wrote,
because there's graffiti on the graffiti
he wrote
on the wall.
King K the Savage on the walls
and graffiti on the walls at the house. Okay, it's a pretty good calling card. So that's really dumb. But again, probably a kid. We'll figure that out. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. We'll find out, huh, Fran? Police saw her enter a classroom on the cameras. Upon investigating that classroom, they found Tierra's backpack. Her mother, Katia, was notified about her daughter's death. She said that she didn't hear much of the conversation after the police said they needed to inform her about something. So obviously her daughter doesn't come home the night before. She gets a phone call from police. She knows whatever this call is not good. So probably get that crazy like ringing, as if you were in war type of thing. You're there, you're hearing, but you're not. You kind of dissociate. So I think that's kind of what she was describing. I didn't really hear much after they told me they needed to notify me about something, and my daughter didn't come home last night. I can kind of put two and two together. Yeah, it was really tragic, really sad. Katia said she didn't know why anyone would want to hurt Tierra, and she still to this day can't make sense of why this happened. Katia also gave the police Tierra's cell phone number so that they could analyze her records. School footage also revealed Tierra interacting in the halls with a male student. The conversation appeared friendly and playful at first until he is seen snatching something from Tierra and running away with it. Police theorized that this was her cell phone, which makes sense when we get further into it. And I watched the footage. The footage is kind of crazy. It's grainy, but yeah, you can see there. It looks like a game, kind of. They're running around the hallways, hiding around corners, and if at first glance it seems innocent, and then it takes this weird turn where you go, "Oh, this isn't funny. Like they're not joking around." So the student was identified as Kelton Brashawn Fox, a 17-year-old at the same school who used to date Tierra. Katia said that the two had been in and out of a relationship, but Tierra broke it off for good around Christmas 2014 because Kelton was too needy.
So she knew who he was.
So she knew who he was, and heard about him and heard his name and knew him and probably did meet him, probably did. Tierra didn't give her mom much detail beyond that, but Katia didn't see any signs of trouble and thought her daughter was fine. Because her daughter probably thought she was fine. Sure. It's a teenage breakup, no reason to go any darker than that for her, even as the girl in the relationship. You just go, we broke up. He wasn't happy, but we broke up. The cameras followed him and Tierra walking out of the school and about 2 miles in the direction of the Trotter Ridge house.
It's a hell of a walk, too.
Yeah, 2 miles is fucking long, man. Which at the end there's a theory, which will, and the theory makes perfect sense. We go 2 miles is a long walk, but when we get into at the end, it makes sense to me. So Kelton eventually returns to the school alone and walks into the bathroom with his long sleeves pulled over his hands. He's then seen leaving the school with an older female, later identified as his mother. Police went back to Jefferson High School to search and swab the men's bathroom. What is it?
Jordan High School.
Oh, Jordan High School. Yeah, sorry. They went and swabbed the bathroom. The police found traces of blood. Kelton had blood on his hands and came into the bathroom to wash it off. So again, this was on a Friday. So between Saturday and Sunday, the police are in and out and watching footage and stuff. And so they lucked up that this didn't take place on a Wednesday. Yeah. And then you get the school, the kids come in and they go wash their hands and track footprints in the bathroom. And the scene remained relatively untouched. So on Tuesday, March 31st, 2015, Kelton Fox was arrested. The police asked him if he knew why he was in handcuffs, and he replied, "Because one of my friends is gone, and they need to find out who did it."
Also,
which is
Also, he tried to be slick too. So when he came back to the school with his hands covered, walking in, and then he asked to leave early because he said he had a stomach ache. So his mom comes to pick him up from school, and I think that was his way of like, if anything happened,
alibi.
I left early. I don't know what happened.
When Kelton's house was searched after they got a search warrant, shoes were found that looked like the ones Kelton wore when Tierra was killed. The shoes had blood on them, which was later confirmed through DNA testing. Also, the police found a journal that talked about King K the Savage and an uncontrollable bloodlust. So now you got King K the Savage in a journal in his house. You got King K the Savage graffiti on the wall. I mean, it's just boom. Yeah. They got you.
Now I want to ask you a question as far as like when killers do this, when they do like the signature or whatever you want to call it, are they saying that, I don't come find me or type of thing, or is it just like
this is just, to me, I get what you're saying about that. To me, this is a dumb kid who wanted to be like a rapper. I think that was his rap name, his Xbox Live name. I don't think he was trying to leave a trail of breadcrumbs for the police to.
I don't think that either.
I think this was a place that they hung out, probably would go make out, fool around, or drink if they were being bad, or hang out at. He tagged the wall with his signature thing that he tags things with, and then they found it in his house, King K the Savage again, and they connected the dots. I don't think
that
this
was a previous thing, like it had been there.
Yeah, I don't think he like killed her and then went and then tagged the house. I think they ended up there because they had been there before. When I was a kid, you hang out on porches of abandoned houses, under porches of abandoned houses, and just do.
I don't think about that.
I know not everybody. That wasn't. No,
absolutely not.
Okay, yeah, me either.
Where would you live at when you was hanging out in abandoned houses?
My grandmother's house.
Oh,
my grandmother's house had some. Yeah, she was
in the hood.
I mean, I don't know. I think she was kind of in the middle. Right. I don't know. I guess if it's a house in the middle of your block that just nobody lives in and is abandoned, like forever, I guess that's not really in the middle.
No.
I don't know many middle class homes that just have like, this house isn't for sale, or it just is, nobody goes in this house.
No, that's police would be called immediately.
Yeah, an upper class, middle upper class neighborhood that would be torn down or renovated, bought because somebody want to live in it. Right. It's in a nice neighborhood. Like it's like somebody would want to. It's incentive in making it nice so you could live in it. No, there was houses around my grandma's neighborhood that just like there's nobody just lives. It's just here. So yeah, I guess so. Well, yeah, I guess it wasn't the best neighborhood. But either way, I think that they had hung out here before, and King K. I think the King K the Savage was there. I didn't think about
that, but that makes I get that.
I think it was there. I think they ended up there because they had been there before, and he had already done that before. Okay. That's my thoughts. But I get what you're saying about that is a thing people do. They leave little breadcrumbs. The Zodiac Killer famously did stuff like that. Leave little clues and come find me. You'll never catch me. I think the Green River Killer did something like that. BTK. They just like antagonizing authority and feeling smarter than the people trying to catch them. I don't think this kid had any of that. I think this was a crime of passion in a place where the emotions ran high. Maybe they had their first kiss in this place. It reminds him of, and so he wanted to get her there, and then he got there, and she still said no, and he lost his mind. I think that's as far as his ideas went. So, Kelton and his mom were both taken to the police station, and his mom could not believe that her son was being arrested for murder. Kelton denied being involved, and he said that he never left the school property, which is, again, he's dumb and a kid because they have him dead to rights. They have him on surveillance camera footage from the neighbor walking towards the house, or at least somebody dressed like him. So it's the same thing when they go. We looked at the surveillance footage when before they know who anybody is, they see a body of a girl dead wearing an Elmo shirt. The neighbor pulls up his surveillance footage. They see a girl in an Elmo shirt walking towards the house. They go to the school. They see a girl in an Elmo shirt. They go, oh, boom. 1, 2, 3 is Tierra Hall. Now, if they see a kid on the surveillance footage walking towards the house and he's wearing a black shirt, black pants, black shoes, and they go look at the school footage and the guy chasing Tierra Hall through the hallways is wearing black shirt, black pants, black shoes, then that's you. Or we're going to assert that it's you, and it's up to a jury to decide whether or not it is you. You're probably going to be found guilty. So for him to say, I never left the school, that was dumb.
I don't know if I want to let him off the hook saying that it was it was a crime of passion, but I don't know if it was just that though. I feel like
this kid's disturbed.
Because I mean, like they found a book with his name in it and found some dark shit in there, and the shit they found it.
No, he's the disturbed person, but now he had a catalyst. Like he had something to point his disturbed mental state to, and I think the trigger was her rejection of whatever kind. But all the negative thoughts and intrusive thoughts and emotions were already there.
Okay.
But I think this is what set him off. You know, I don't think him being demented or crazy is what set him off. I think him being demented or crazy is what made him obsessed with this girl, and then her lack of affection back set him off. Okay. But it set off his craziness. So like I said, he said he never left the school property. His mother said that she knew that Kelton carried a pocket knife with him, but she was obviously in shock that her son could be capable of killing another human being. On Thursday, June 14, 2018, Kelton Fox pled guilty to second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 12 to 15 years in prison.
Wow. I get why, but it's still wild.
Because it's like we'll get into it. The police were not able to prove that it was premeditated. However, the police believed that Kelton had taken Tiara's phone, knowing she would follow him. They asserted that Kelton lured Tiara away from the school and killed her.
That's premeditated, though, right? That's not.
But they couldn't prove it.
That's crazy.
That makes sense. I believe it, but they couldn't prove it. We see him snatching her phone. But can they prove he snatched her phone and then kept walking and walking and walking and like luring it, dangling it in front of her to be like, well, come get it. And he walked her all the way to this abandoned building where he knew nobody would hear her or whatever. And then he killed her there with the pocket knife they couldn't prove it. It makes sense. I believe that's what happened. He knew where he was going. Kind of. I believe that. But listen, here's what I believe. I believe he took her phone to antagonize her. I believe he could tell that she was not going to stop following him if he didn't give her the phone back. I think he went to where he wanted to go. I don't think they ended up at that house where the wall is graffitied by accident. It's a place he was familiar with.
I think.
And I think something happened in the house, and then it set him off, and he killed her. Now, do I think that he woke up that day with this plan? I don't know, and I can't prove it. So while all of those things did happen, you can't link them together to prove that it was premeditated. All those things did happen. He did take her phone. We saw that. He took her phone. He did keep her phone until he got to the house. You know, like she followed him there. And then he killed her. But like, was that his plan when he woke up? Like, I'm going to take her phone and then she'll follow me to the house and then I'm going to kill her.
But why does that? That's bullshit.
Because here's the thing, because I think I know where you were about to go. Is it premeditated if he woke up that day and wanted to kill her? Probably, but you can't prove that. And you can't, you can't just go, he planned on killing her that day and however he got it done doesn't matter. Like, no, you can't just say he woke up that day and wanted to kill her. Because you got to be able to prove that.
But what is the time frame we're using this for it to be premeditated, though?
Text messages between people talking about killing her.
That's not included as being premeditated?
They couldn't prove that it was.
No, that's bullshit.
You know?
That's bullshit.
I think that what the defense, what they asserted was enough to kind of muddy the waters and caused a plea deal to be put up on the table, which was that this was a jealousy thing. Emotions were running high. This kid's mentally disturbed. He wasn't in his right mind state. So he wasn't even really capable of formulating a plan because he just was running off of emotions. He was jealous. He thought she was dating somebody else or cheated on him. And so he just was emotional. And he was keeping her phone from her. He was keeping her phone from her because he was mad at her. Not because he was planning on killing her.
That's not premeditated. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. With that theory that I just read makes total sense to me. He took the phone because he knew she would follow him. Of course, you're mad. The girl's mad. You guys have a history. You're getting on her nerves, but like you know how sometimes guys and girls at this age it's like negging. You know, I've seen that. I've been 15 and seen boys and girls fighting, and it's like, give this back, and hold it up high, and all this type of shit like that. It's just the friction of man versus woman at a young age.
But luring
so that makes
her
sense
to
to me.
an abandoned building?
No, that's crazy.
Like,
that's crazy. No, that's crazy for sure, and I agree. But they couldn't prove it. Is my only point. They could not prove that that's what he did. That it was with intention to kill her.
I told y'all to kiss my ass because that's bullshit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, no, he lured my son there, and here's the fact. He lured her daughter. He lured her daughter there and killed her. But they could not prove that he lured her daughter there to kill her. And that is a subtle distinction, but it is a distinction.
That's crazy.
He lured her there.
I'm sorry.
He lured her there and killed her. But they cannot prove that he lured her there to kill her.
But context matters, though. It's like it's an abandoned building, and you what? What are we talking? They didn't go to the park. They went to an abandoned building where nobody is around, and they know. Come on, man. Like that's crazy to me. That's wild to me, man.
At 12:40 in the afternoon, when people are at work. Yeah, it was early in the day where people are at work and not home. Yeah, I agree with you. What they said was he was obsessed with her and he knew that he couldn't have her. Tierra was able to scream once, but Kelton overpowered her.
And the rumors that he found out that she may have been cheating on him.
Yes, and so that was what the defense kind of put forward about his emotional state. During this sentence, Kelton's defense team brought up several mitigating circumstances, such as the fact that his father had left him as a child, which is okay.
Why is that included?
That's like a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids, and they don't do this.
They use for black people. But
yeah, that's crazy. As mama was doing it,
he went to go get a big gulp and they never returned. Like what?
Yeah,
he went to go get Father's Day, it's Mother's Day in that household.
Your Honor, his pappy went to go get a 40 of that old English and then never came back, and that made him a killer. And we can't blame him for that. You're having a racial diatribe, man. You can't do that. You can't do that to try to get this kid off for murder, bro. You can't condemn the whole black community off this kid being a killer. Come on, don't do that. So yeah, the defense was like he grew up without a dad, and that made him violent at home. And they said he grew up without a dad, and his home was violent. So sure, okay. Hey, why not? Also, Kelton's defense said that he had PTSD, hallucinations, paranoia, and some symptoms of borderline personality disorder. So I don't know if this, factored into his plea.
I would love to know when they do that research or testing, what if everybody have signs of that, but it's just it's not that enhanced as some people.
Different degrees.
Different degrees. So what if everybody has, but that's just like what they use in court where they go like, oh, this person has symptoms of this, but everybody has it, but his is just
if everybody tested for it. I mean, I'm sure some things are like having a lot of iron in your blood.
Yeah,
like I'm sure that's kind of common. But if not everybody's testing and they go, Your Honor, he had high iron in his blood, it sounds like a thing you can try to blame something for. But I don't know what's the test for borderline personality disorder. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm somewhere on the spectrum. If there's a spectrum, maybe everybody. That's why I don't like. I was having this discussion about autism and how it's gotten disrespectful, where there are people who are socially awkward and don't like being in crowds of people, and they're like, "I'm so autistic." Like it's become a TikTok
That's
thing.
Ugly.
Kind of people.
I don't like that.
It's this, and when there are people who are, and I'm not saying one struggle is worse than the other, but there are people who are non-verbally autistic, cannot function in society, cannot live on their own. And I think it's kind of like dumb for people to adopt it as a quirky little personality trait. Like, oh, I'm autistic, I'm on the spectrum, and I don't like talking to too many people at one time. I feel like, the spectrum of autism is broad, and there are people who probably fall on it who could probably just shut up about it. Like, it really is not like somebody, or maybe you. Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't like about it. And there are some people who maybe even took like what's that quiz thing? BuzzFeed. Like there are some people who might have even taken like a BuzzFeed quiz that put them somewhere on the autism spectrum and are now like wearing it as this quirky badge of honor.
Don't you dare put it in your bio.
There are people who there are people who do this. This is a thing, And I don't know what the spectrum is, where it is, I'm not trying to hear any emails from people. I'm sure if you are listening to this and you,
but we all know what we mean.
With autism,
we all know what we mean when
if somebody tells me their son is autistic for to prepare me to meet them, I'm not saying I have a vision in my mind of what that kid will look like, but I'm assuming that it's it's a struggle.
Yes.
And there are people
that's what I mean. Yes.
And there are people who are like not struggling at all. They're just like, I don't like talking to people. Maybe I might be able to test it. I might be somewhere on the autism spectrum. I don't know. I don't know. My point is, a lot of people don't like talking to people or get overwhelmed by too many voices being in one conversation. Yeah. And some people just, I eat lunch in my car. Mm-hmm. I don't like eating I'll go on my lunch break. I get my lunch. I go eat in my car. I don't want to be around people, and I just like to be in my own little space. There are people who that might be the most a severe version of that. Like I don't like being in places by myself. I'm autistic, and it's like they'll put it in their bio. I'm getting off subject. I'm just saying to offer your point about how everybody might be borderline or might have hallucinations or might have PTSD. There are a ton of people who might have PTSD. There's a ton of people in Baltimore, a ton of people in Chicago, a ton of people in Los Angeles that have PTSD. They've seen many of their friends die at 14 years old, gun violence, all kind of terrible things. So if we're saying PTSD can lead you to kill your girlfriend, then there's a lot of people out there who have PTSD who aren't killing their girlfriends.
Exactly.
So that's my only point. I got off on a tangent about the autism thing just because I feel like I don't like people playing with mental illness.
Right. And that's why I brought it up. That was my whole point. Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that say they have OCD, but it's just because I only eat orange jelly beans or whatever.
It's not cool to say.
There are people who are like debilitated. They can't leave their house because their OCD is so severe. And you're like, well, I only eat pink lemon heads. It's like, all right. Like some people just like to be a part of a group. It's tribalism. Everybody wants to be like lumped into something. So records from Gaston Correctional Institution in Dallas, North Carolina, show that Kelton is still in jail.
Okay.
He should be eligible for parole. Actually, no, not eligible for parole. He should get out in April of 2027.
Wow.
So within the next 4 years, this person will be released from prison after his defense claimed that he has PTSD, hallucinations, paranoia, some symptoms of borderline personality disorder. He's traumatized from his childhood, and he killed a person.
And been stuck in prison for 15
And been stuck in prison, and we know how the prison system is. I don't think he's coming out better.
Wow.
Sorry to be so blunt about it.
Wow.
And so this kid will be released back out on the streets, an adult. And let's just hope he was reformed, and because his recidivism will be bad if he hasn't reformed. He's killed somebody at a young age, and his defense even admitted that he has some psychological issues. So if he backslides or re-offends, I just hope it's not in the way that he got in prison in the first place. So, but they gave him 12 to 15 years. Will have served it in 2027. Yeah. He did his time. It's not any kind of loophole or anything like that. He will have served his time in 2027 and will be released. So I can't really, there's nothing really to say about it. That's how the system works. So yeah, so that was the story of Tierra Hall. Really sad. Really just makes you I don't know, man. Like we have this discussion, you and me, about now the world's so connected with, the internet and everything. You can hear stories from mass shootings and all these things from all across the country. So it feels so every day and you're inundated with it and stuff. But this is one of those stories where, it feels like it just makes you concerned about being a father, having kids, and sending your kids to school. And kids, they spend so much time at school, and they can have this whole life and relationships and a world, and come home and you go, how was school? And they go, good.
Yep.
And they've been break up and got in a fight with their boyfriend in front of everybody in the cafeteria. Yeah.
And we did it too.
The teachers, but the teachers don't. The teachers call home when you disrespect them or don't do your homework. But if they see you like going around grabbing butts and the stuff we used to do in school, like kissing in the hallways and stuff that my mom would have wanted to know.
Yeah, for sure.
My mom would have wanted to know if I was being sexually active at school, not like full, but whatever, like whatever, flirtatious, grabby, PDA, necking. My mom would have wanted to know that and would have wanted the teachers to be like, hey, stop. Which they did, but like they can't see you. It's like prison. It's way more prisoners than COs.
Yeah.
That's the same way as school. It's one teacher to every like 50 kids. So it's, they can't catch everything. So it's this whole life and hormones and emotions and all this shit happening at school, and your kid will come home and tell you nothing. That's why I say the best you can hope for is you try to make it, don't be a corporal, don't be an imposing force on your kids. You want your kids to be able to tell you everything. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be like, oh, if you tell me this, you're grounded and what? Because then they won't tell you anything. Yep. I don't know the name of the girl, but there's this story that's been playing out. The girl's like in court and trial. She got pregnant, She had the baby at school or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
put the baby in the
yeah.
trash can because she didn't want to tell her mom that she was having sex and got pregnant. And that's an extreme, but I'm just saying, Tierra Hall, she didn't know, her mom didn't know to be afraid of this guy.
Yeah.
Nobody knew because there was no discussions being had. Tierra Hall thought she was just having a teenage affair. But it turns out this guy had his own mental issues, and those weren't shared with the school. And you know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of lack of communication, and then you put all these people in an innocent situation we all been in. You've been in school. We both been in school, in high school, had a little relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're both not, I mean, I got my own issues and shit like that, but I'm not mentally unstable.
Right.
I'm not a dangerous person.
Right.
But if you put somebody in an innocent situation, I'm cute, they're cute. I like how she dresses. She likes how whatever, my jokes. We're in high school. We date. That's normal. But if you throw in traumas and PTSD and all this type of stuff, and you break up with me and reject my affections, now you're dealing with some real shit, and she had no idea.
I had no idea.
She just thought she was
just
you get to break up with people.
Shit. It was high school shit. Break up and then like whatever, your heart broke for a little bit, and you just.
That's how it's supposed to go.
That's supposed to go. Right, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so it's sad that this girl's life was cut so short. She wanted to go to college in North Carolina. She had her college ideas picked out and everything, and you know, it makes you scared. It's like when I remember talking or seeing the internet reaction when that show Euphoria came out, and parents being like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck are you saying? These kids are sending nudes and making sex tapes and doing drugs, and like it just."
Well, stop acting. I don't like that because like stop acting like you weren't young. Stop acting like you didn't do.
No, but like
I didn't see the show, so I don't know. But to act like you wasn't that age,
you were doing. Everybody was doing crazy stuff, but the access to the things that these kids have today, and then again everything I just said. So like. Drugs are easier to get, more legal, more available. Pills, everybody's on pills. Parents, you can just go get pills out of your parents' closet. Alcohol, flooded everywhere you can get alcohol. Fake IDs are easier to make. Everything's easier to do. And you put all that in the same format of high school that we went to. The hormones are the same. The girls are the same. The boys are the same. Cheerleaders, little skirts, abs, like all new, sweat. Hyper stimulation, all that same shit, but like you can get drugs easier, alcohol easier, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. Sexuality has become a lot more fluid and fun and free, like, you know, so, you know, nudes and everything is just like crazy. I don't know if this is talking about child pornography and stuff, but I remember being like 16, 17 years old, getting a girl to send you a sexy picture was like a badge of honor. Like, what do you like, what'd you say to her? Like, what do you mean she sent you pictures of her body? And now that's just like normal. Yeah. And it still has the same implications. Like the girls are still, if you expose a girl's private pictures, that's still awful and embarrassing and whatever, but like they still are sharing them so much more freely with so much more trust. But it's just, everything is just more accessible. It's a crazy time. And I think it's scary for parents. And this story doesn't make me any less scared to be like, my daughter comes home someday and has a boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like you're on this pathway. Yeah. Where it makes you go like, is he a nice boy? I don't fucking know. It make you turn into, you read a story like this and you go into details of the story like this. And it's like, maybe a guy does come over and me and you are in the garage with some dudes and some tank tops, and we're just like, hey man, we said bring her home at 7:00, so you will bring her home at 7:00. Yeah, a story like this kind of makes you go into that archaic,
yeah, for sure,
territorial, sexist, whatever. Like I don't trust you. I don't. No. Yeah, I know. High school, I was a nice kid in high school. I dated girls or whatever. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't hurt anybody.
I will be in disguise following you.
Okay, all right.
I got newspaper and shit. I got like a hat on and some glasses,
mustache. Yeah.
Got my newspaper. It's fucking 20. It's like 20:30, and I got like a newspaper in my hand and shit.
Yeah, like that makes you stand out even more. It's like that guy reading the newspaper. That guy reading the funnies. He's supposed to just gotta have a big iPad or something. Yeah, but like listen. That might be the wrong thing to say. But if you read a story like this and it makes you the things that you think are supposed to be normal. Your kids should be able to date somebody, decide they don't like them, break up, and then that's it. Yep. So now it's like, okay, somebody comes and tells you they're dating somebody, this story might pop in your head, and you go,
who?
All right, well, I need to know their medical history. Like, I need to, like, do they have mental illness in their family?
I need to know their parents' names, the address, everything. I want to know everything.
Yeah, because once you tell me you're dating somebody, all that Howard School fine shit is done. That's why I just implore people to have open communication with their kids. Yeah. I know that people are like, I don't want to be my kid's friend, but you got to find some kind of middle ground, because being your kid's warden is worse. Yes. They're going to do all the shit and more.
Yeah.
And not tell you anything. So I just think that that's the best route to go, is you want an open line of communication as opposed to them being afraid to tell you anything. And you end up with a kid who might be pregnant and do despicable and horrible things unintentionally. I feel so bad about that case, because the girl just didn't want to get in trouble. Yeah. She just didn't want to mess up her life. All these things. The teenage girl. I'm not Sierra Hall. I'm having two streams of consciousness. But that girl who had a baby and put it in the trash can and the baby died. Yeah. I just know, I can tell from they have footage of her at the hospital when she was getting arrested, everything. And I can just tell she just is a scared little girl.
Yeah.
Who did something adult, and she has every right to live her life with her body and everything like that. But because she didn't feel comfortable talking with her mother,
you could tell by the way
she wasn't on birth control.
It was easy to tell.
She wasn't on birth control. She didn't feel comfortable going to tell her mom that she was pregnant, and she just was like, or worst case scenario, I think I heard one of the videos where she was like, I didn't know, which is like, because she didn't feel comfortable going to her mom and being like, I had sex and my stomach hurts and I need to go see an OBGYN or whatever, a gynecologist. Like, she didn't know, or she didn't feel comfortable telling her mom that she was having sex. So you gotta get that communication. Yeah. Listen, you're gonna hear stuff you don't want to hear. You're gonna have to pick your kid up from the party drunk and scold them. But you want them to call you.
Yeah. When they get drunk at the
party, exactly. You want them to call you. That's the thing. Like, I remember being a kid. We've been out doing shit we wasn't supposed to be doing. Get caught in a predicament. It's like, we got to try to scrape together some cab money, because I'm not calling my mom to pick us up from here.
Walk.
You know what I mean? I'll walk 10 miles before I call my mom and be like, we're at a motel and a crackhead. Yeah. It's just not happening. Yeah. It's just not happening. So, but you want them to call you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. So, again, rest in peace to Tierra Hall. Prayers to her mom and the family. And, it's been some years, but this is a pain that never goes away. So, I hope that they find peace and, in whatever they do in life. But, Fran, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for my babies still being babies.
Yeah, there's a documentary I got. I bet it'll drop some tears for you. I'm recommending this to you and everybody out there who has HBO Max or want to get the.
It's called Max. It's called Max.
Sorry, it's Max. Shout out to Max. Yeah. If you have that, or if you want to get the free trial or whatever, there's a documentary on there called "Where Does the Time Go?"
Okay.
It's 20 minutes long, and this dad films his daughter every birthday from 2 to 18, and he asks her like 5 questions. And the fact that this girl's life fit into 20 minutes of her being a baby and then going through the phases of like 12 and just her changing her face and her mood and the emotions on her life and what she wanted out of life, her goals and her dreams and everything, to see that a kid grow, the life of that fit into 20 minutes. Yeah. It was beautiful, but it was so sad.
Yeah. It's fast.
We're just like,
it's quick.
So I highly recommend that to you. I'm thankful for summer, man. I used to think summer wasn't the same since I graduated. But when you make the most of your summer, even though you still have to work, you still have life stuff to do, but summer is this beautiful time where you make great memories. You know what I mean? Like it still is. And if you never lose that, it doesn't take something away from you. And I think I lost that for a bit, where it's just like, I don't know, summer's the same. Like, it's not as, I lost the spirit of summer. And recently I really had to look and go like, I'm making great memories. It's a fun summer. Like, summers are still summer. Like, it's still a great time to go do stuff with the family and make memories and have a good time. So I'm thankful for summer again for the first time in a long time. I haven't been like thankful about a summer in a long time. It just kind of felt like it's just hot.
Yeah, I hate the summer.
Well, we work outside, so I hate things about the summer, but I like the spirit of summer. How about that? I'm thankful for the spirit of summer, vacations and time and barbecuing and I'm thankful for summer again for the first time.
A nice crispy dog.
Yeah, you know, it's got those blisters on it, those big fat blisters. You know, and you can do sauerkraut and however you like to put your dog together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's your business. I'm not ever judging, you know, how you choose to, you know, partake in the dog. But anyway, this has been another episode of Affirmative Murder. I've been Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans, and we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.